Okay, so here I am. So it's 8 days into decision day, and we are um, we are almost at our whole decision day, and we're almost there. I don't really know who's gonna say yes and no. It changes by the moment. So we start off with Miguel venting about Lindy. Miguel and Lindy are still venting at the getaway, at the couples retreat. Miguel is saying how he feels about Lindy, and Lindy is saying how she feels about Miguel to their respective teams. So Lindy says she's being thrown for a loop, but wants to be respected, and she's trying to figure out how to get to a compromise with Miguel. So Alexis tells her to find the compromise in the moment, that and to keep fighting for her marriage. So she said that worked for her and Justin, but I don't know if that's a great tip or not, because her and Justin are like, I really don't know how Alexis feels about Justin. So Nate said he feels like marriage is teamwork, and it is quite a bit of teamwork in marriage. When my husband died, that's one of the biggest things that I noticed. Like, I'm missing my partner. I'm missing my teammate. Like, if I couldn't do something, he could pick up the slack, and vice versa. So yeah, it is a lot of teamwork, but it also is a lot more than just teamwork. Lindy says she doesn't want to be controlled. She feels that Miguel doesn't accept her, and he just doesn't want her. Um, so after they're venting to each other, Lindy and Miguel get back together, and I think they were on in the car at this point. And she's like, she no, they weren't in the car at this point. They were at the point where they were just came, and they were just discussing everything. And she says, I feel like that he's angry with her. And Miguel lets her know that she is correct, but it's more like an annoyance, not really like an anger type thing. So Lindy says, now she went all the way to the left on this. She said she was scared to get in the car with him. I mean, what did you think the man was going to do? Choke you out on the way to, back to your apartment? So Lindy, come on now. Let's not go with the dramatics. Let's stick with the facts. He is angry. You all are not seeing eye to eye at this point. So Miguel explains that his anger is not at the level that she's perceiving it. He's just really annoyed where they are at this point. And so I don't know. I think the whole thing with Lindy and Miguel is that the rose-colored glasses are now off for them. They are now being a little bit more transparent with each other. They're being a little bit more honest in how they feel. So it's a lot going on at this point, and I feel like they're getting to actually who they are as an individual. And I'm going to go in a little bit more about how I feel about Lindy and Miguel, because I feel like it's a little bit deeper than what Miguel may be saying. So the couples ride back to their respective apartments. So Stasha, on the way back, Stasha asked Nate, how he felt about the weekend, and Nate says, it was amazing for him, but not so much for others. I guess he's talking about, Linda and Miguel. They were definitely the ones that had most of the issues. So on Chris, when Kristen is riding back, she tells Mitch, she's sad for Lindy and Miguel. And, she knows all couples are going to go through what they went through at some particular moment, but she just feels, she really feels for them. So now, while Alexis and Justin are in the car, Alexis says to Justin, Nate revealed that he was happy with Stasha because she's a real freak, and she wishes that she could get freaky. Alexis, come on now. I really think she does this to emasculate Justin as much as she can. So Justin saying, we can be freaky. And so Alexis says, no, we have other issues. What are those other issues? So, Justin said, it just happened that one time. It's good now. And he says, only thing I need to work on is my stamina. Justin, stop taking the bait with this woman. I was like, because she is embarrassing you. So I'm assuming that the little issue that he had, either he couldn't rise to the occasion or something to that fact. So now the whole thing is it's his stamina. Like he can't last as long. But I guess because he isn't, he has been celibate, or whatever, he has been abstaining, whatever it is, he has to get back into the groove of things, if there ever was a groove, if you catch what I'm saying. So Justin says, maybe I need to get on the treadmill and get my stamina up, so I can last a little longer. And then Alexis shades Justin again, and it's like, do they have something for thrust? Oh my God. I'm like, Alexis, come on now. You really gonna talk about this man thrust game? But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would have said it on camera, because I wouldn't want to embarrass my husband, regardless of what I feel about him. I just wouldn't want to embarrass him, because now if y'all gonna work out, you are gonna ruin it for anybody who maybe want to, deal with Justin in that capacity. Because I mean, if she says you're a thrust game, like I don't even want to know what's it like for you. So I feel like it's a good conversation for married couples to have, because sex is a big deal in a marriage. However, not for millions of viewers, not on national TV. Don't embarrass your husband like that. Ladies, and gentlemen, whoever, if you are married, try not to embarrass your spouse. That certain things you just want to kind of, especially those things that you can't really take back. You want to just let's save that for just between us. Let's not put all our business out in the streets. So the couples make it back to their apartments. Kristen asked Mitch, if he had any favorite parts about the weekend. And Mitch says, his favorite part was seeing her in her element and having fun. And Kristen definitely was in her element this weekend. She was, but I'm a Kristen girl. I'm Team Kristen for this season. And she's like a girl's girl. She seems like she's good to go and have fun with, and just, good for a good kiki. But if I need to confide in you, I feel like I can come to you and get some sage advice. So I really like Kristen. So I'm glad Mitch is actually seeing who Kristen is as a person, versus if he can get past the makeup, which she does not wear a lot. Mitch has a conference that he has to go to, and he feels, it's going to be a litmus test for their relationship, and see if they will miss each other in the end. And I think you will. Because for the past 7 weeks, you have been like Velcro to this other person. So now that you are away, either you're going to get away and you can be like, ooh, or you're going to get away and be like, oh, I kind of miss them. So it's going to be either one. So I can see where Mitch is coming from. So Mitch says he wants to explore being, single Mitch while being married. That don't make no sense, Mitch. That makes no sense at all. Why not, celebrate that you are now married? Because Kristen is a beautiful woman, Mitch. So I don't understand why you wouldn't be celebrating, like, y'all, check out my wife. I got married, blah, 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 because they're going to see the TV show anyway. So Kristen says, while Mitch is at his conference, she's going to be home cleaning up and, just sprucing things up around the home. And I was like, oh, Kristen. So moving on to Lindy and Miguel. Lindy says that, she's happy the retreat is over. I probably can understand why you are, because, you literally cried the entire retreat. Like, she was on such an emotional roller coaster. I would have been exhausted. Like, I would need to go and sleep somewhere as much as she was crying. So Miguel says, he feels strongly for Lindy, but he's questioning how he feels, about their marriage. So Lindy feels, they need to get back to the fundamentals of love, and divorce isn't an option for her. And Miguel says, she feels Miguel is rejecting her over, like a little bump in the road, and they need to just put in the extra effort and the work in their marriage. So Miguel says, he doesn't like feeling the way he did, and doesn't like, making her feel the way she did over the getaway. And Lindy says it's unrealistic to expect perfection at this stage, but all she's hearing from him is doubt. Now, let me get into my spiel about Lindy and Miguel. Give me a quick little 2-minute blurb that I can get out about them. I feel like Miguel is scared at this point. He is scared at this point because Lindy has been, in his mind, unpredictable and unstable. And remember, you all, he is coming from a parent who has schizophrenia and he moved a lot. So he has a lot of instability in his life that stems from his childhood. So getting with a woman or marrying a woman who he perceives as being unstable is going to be a major red flag for him. A major red flag for him. And then the fact that Lindy keeps harping on the issue where I can get even more indignant, I can get crazier, you ain't seen crazy yet. It's like, okay, like, I don't know if I can deal with this for the entirety of our marriage. Yes, I like her, I love her. However, I don't know if I can go the distance with her. And I think that's where he is mentally with Lindy. And I can understand because being, I can't understand personally, but if I were a person who had a lot of instability growing up, it would be an issue for him. But also on the flip side, I'm going to twerk on the fence for a minute. I can also see Lindy is coming from a very controlled environment. She's coming from an environment where she couldn't be herself. She couldn't do certain things because of the confinements of her religion. So she's broken out of that religion. And now she's in a marriage and she wants to be her full self. And she feels constricted and controlled by Miguel because if she it shows who she truly is, Miguel is going to reject her. Thus, feeling like she felt when she was in that restrictive religion. So I just don't see where these two are going to be a safe space for each other at this point. And maybe they do need to say no on decision day. And it's only because I'm looking out for both of their mental wealth in the situation and their mental health, because Lindy shouldn't feel like I can't be myself and she retreats or she ends up blowing up on him for real. And Miguel shouldn't feel like, scared and fearful that I don't know what I'm going to get when I wake up in the morning with this individual. So that's my little 2-minute spiel on Lindy Miguel. Comment down below if you agree with me. So Stasha and Nate, they go to the new house that Stasha built. And so Stasha said she started building this before she before she got into the process. So it's a really, really nice home, very clean, it definitely screams Stasha. I don't see any Nate in there as of yet, but it definitely screams a lot of Stasha. So she says she wants Nate to feel comfortable, so she wants him to put a little bit of his ideas into the house. She reiterates to Nate, she comes in, she has a nice white kitchen, big island and, stuff. And she's like, look, I don't want to have dishes in the sink. And he was like, okay. He was like, but you be having dishes in the sink too. She said, but in this house, we're not going to have dishes in the sink. I mean, I get it. And, I'm a Virgo and I can be kind of a neat freak a little bit, but I'm not as bad as Stasha because sometimes I may not get around to doing my dishes that night. So I may not do my dishes every night. It's just me. However, when I was married, like I said, the teamwork dynamic, I don't like washing dishes. So my husband did a lot of the dishwashing and I did a lot of the cooking. So we just that's how we did our thing. But I'm not opposed to washing dishes. I'm not going to let it be like crazy piled up with dishes. But yeah, I don't know if it's, unless you're just going to be washing dishes a lot, it may be a dish in a sink, Stasha. So, maybe before you go to bed, you don't want any dishes. I can understand that. But And I don't really know. I don't know. I'm not in that mind frame, and I just don't have the time to continuously wash dishes. Usually I try to wait till, before I go to bed, I'll wash some dishes and go on upstairs. So I don't know, but we're going to see how that's going to work. Nate's, she shows Nate a little bit of the backyard. She says she's going to put a bunch of concrete in the backyard because she, doesn't want to do any, cut grass or anything like that. So Nate wants grass, and she was like, well, who's going to maintain it? She was like, and Nate was like, I will. And so I see it two different ways. Nate, if you say you're going to maintain the back with the grass, you better maintain it, because I don't want to see weeds. I don't want to see, I don't want to see the grass getting high out there. If you're going to maintain it, I'm going to trust you to maintain it. However, the compromise could be getting some turf instead of, having to put actual grass out there. Just get some turf, where that way you don't really have to maintain it as much. And it looks green. Nate gets what he wants, and then Stasha gets what she wants, because she really doesn't have to maintain it much. What y'all think? So they go upstairs, and Stasha has like white carpet. The bathroom is white and black. She has black towel with the hexagon towel. When I was building my house, I saw the hexagon tile. I didn't really like it because I have this thing with clusters, and it gives me the creeps, like clusters of stuff like beehives and stuff. Anything that looks like that, it gives me the creeps. So yeah, I'm not into that, but I like black and white too. So I liked her bathroom. So as Nate is going through this house, Stasha is looking like, because she doesn't want him to walk around the house with his bare feet, because she doesn't want the oils from your feet to get into the carpet. She would prefer you wear socks. I don't know how this is going to work with Nate and Stasha, because Nate seems a little bit more free-spirited than Stasha, and Stasha seems like, oh my God, you're going to tear my house up. That's how she was looking as he was going through the house and looking at things. Like even down to the, you make sure we're out of toilet paper, you're getting toilet paper. Like I feel like she's going to be hyper aware of everything, and she's going to aggravate the crap out of Nate. So Stasha, I'm hoping you can calm your behind down, because he is a man, and sometimes men do things that you just don't understand. As a woman, we just do things differently, and you just have to get used to it. It was a learning curve for me. My husband wasn't, junky by any means. He was very much a minimalist like Nate, but you still have to get used to certain things. Like sometimes the toilet seat will be up. So when you walk in and you see the toilet seat up, just put it down. But, hopefully they have it down more times than up. So it takes a lot to get used to. So Nate's help, as they're sitting down talking about the kids situation, because Stasha wants to have kids like ASAP. Nate was like, this house is very white. So how does that work if we're going to have this white house and have kids? Because kids are going to put their hand on the wall, which is I hate it. I see fingerprints. It drives me up a wall. I'll scrub the wall down, and voila, there is another fingerprint. So if anybody has suggestions, please comment down below, because I can't get my child, who is 7 years old, to stop putting his hands on the wall, but it comes with the territory. Also, sometimes they write on the wall. I have come in, he doesn't write as much, but sometimes I will see a little scribble. So, you have to be ready for that. And Stasha was like, well, I'm just going to make sure they don't. That's very good, and that's very ambitious, Stasha, and maybe they will be just like you. But if they take after Nate, they may not listen, or they may sneak and do it, and you come down like, where did this come from? Kids are very unpredictable, and you don't know what you're going to get until you got it. So, you don't know if there's going to be more of your personality, more Nate's personality. Their kids are not cookie cutter. So Stasha, while I appreciate your ambition, it's going to be difficult trying to keep your house as pristine as you would like with kids. And so yeah. So Justin, goes to pick up Maya from the concentration camp. Well, I don't want to say that. Scratch that. I apologize. But from the prison, it looks like Alcatraz for dogs. So Justin picks up Maya from this little doggy camp or whatever it is. And he says he's going to end up letting his friend Chris, take ownership of Maya, because I think while Maya was at this training camp, she attacked another dog. And so they just saying, like, I guess this is going to be a part of Maya's personality. And Justin is making this sacrifice for his marriage, and he's just going to give Maya to his friend Chris, who Maya knows and loves just as much as Justin. So he feels like this is going to be a good fit for Maya. So Justin says he's going to choose his marriage over his dog. I just think that Justin, first of all, I think you're jumping the gun because you don't know what this day is going to bring about. Second, I feel like if you're going to be in a house and I feel like y'all could have made some compromises. Maybe you could have on Maya when Newton's around. Maybe you could, do something else to make that compromise versus just getting up Maya. Because she seemed better. She didn't seem as aggressive, but I'm sure there is another dog whisperer out there that could help Maya with some of her issues. Because I just really don't understand just giving your dog away. And I don't have a dog, but if I had a dog that I had grown that attached to, I don't know if I would be just willing to give it up without coming up with the compromise. Y'all didn't even seem like y'all worked through anything. Like it didn't seem like it was just like you give the dog up for your marriage and that's it. I don't understand. So Alexis, he goes get, Maya, brings her back to the house. Alexis is going to stay at her old apartment until Maya leaves, which is crazy to me. I'm just like, what type of craziness is this? Why can't you stay in the house, Alexis, and just give Newton to your mom until, Maya leaves with Chris? Maybe you would have had a change of heart or something once you bonded with Maya. You're not going to even try to bond with Maya, knowing how much it means to Justin. Like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. So going to Stasha and Nate. Stasha and Nate go shopping for hardware and decor for the house. And, they definitely have a different style because whatever Nate was, picking out, it was kind of like, have you saw Stasha's house? Like, the stuff you're picking out doesn't even make sense. So Stasha's just like, she's trying to get through it, but she's really looking like, oh, no, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Because she still sees this as her house. Even though with her mouth, she is saying, like, I want him to be comfortable. No, you don't. This is your house. This is your baby. And you want it to look the way you want it to look. You really don't want Nate to have really any say so. You want Nate to just agree with you and keep it moving. For me, the compromise was for our house. I would, run things by my husband, but maybe Stasha, what you need to do is pick out the 3 things that you like the most and have Nate to, choose from that 3 that you picked out that you like the most. So that way it feels like he's involved and you're still getting what you want because you're not mad at those 3 options. That's how you do it, Stasha. So Nate says, he feels like he's going to be moving in with her versus it being his home. This is going to be a continuous issue for you, Nate, because you are moving into her home. Her name is on the deed. I don't know if you're going to be helping with the mortgage, but unless you're going to get your name on the deed, which I doubt, I don't think Stasha's going to have that. I just think that maybe y'all can come to some agreement, like maybe after 5 years that y'all rent the house out, and then you and Stasha can build something for yourselves. That way, it can have a little bit of you and a little bit of Stasha, and y'all can rent that house out. Stasha flips houses all the time, and she's in that world. So I think that'd be really, really good for y'all. So Chris picks up Maya, and Justin says he never thought he would have to, he would give her up. So Alexis comes in, and she wants to be supportive of Justin. Really low key, she want to make sure that dog is gone. She want to make sure that dog is gone and out of here. She don't want no parts of Maya, and Maya don't want no parts of her. Because when she walked in, Maya didn't even, run up to her. Like dogs usually do. I didn't see Maya even run up to her. Maya was like, he was just like, I don't mess with you. You don't mess with me. We see each other. So, and even it was so sad watching Maya leave with Chris, because it was just like Maya knew, like, this is the end for us. We've been together for so long. Like, cue the song, "It's so hard to say goodbye." Like, that's how I felt. They should have played that as Maya drove off into the sunset with Chris. It was so sad watching it. And it was just like, I feel like Alexis was being a little compassionate, but good and got darn well, she wouldn't have gave up Newton. If Rose was reversed, she would not have given up Newton. Newton wasn't going nowhere. I don't care what she said. She said on the after party before that she would, but baby, she ain't giving up Newton. So Alexis reassures Justin that Maya is in good hands, because he said, with his own mouth, that Maya loved Chris just as much as, she loved him. Like, she's familiar with Chris, and Chris's wife was okay with Maya coming to their home. So Justin tells Alexis he hopes he can see, she sees that this is the ultimate sacrifice, and he's really in it to win it for their marriage. And Alexis says she values his decision, but she doesn't want it thrown in her face like 24/7. Justin, this is where you should have been honest. You did not want to give up your dog. You should have pressed Alexis and to come up with a compromise versus giving up your dog, because I do agree with Alexis. Don't throw that thing in this is your decision. Don't make the decision based on decision day. Like, oh, if I say yes in decision day, that, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and give up my dog. No, let's come up with a compromise, because you throwing it in her face is just going to cause another argument. So if you did not want to give up your dog, you should have came up with some other solutions versus giving up your dog. Now, I'm hoping you were smart enough, Justin, is just to let Chris hold the dog to see what happens to after decision day. And you're just making it seem like Maya is leaving. I don't know, but Chris lives 17 hours away. So unless you prepare to drive 17 hours to go pick Maya up, I felt like you should have came up with the solution. Or maybe Maya could have stayed in the training camp for another week into decision day. It just does not make sense that you made this permanent decision on a decision that you don't know if it's going to be yes or no. But Justin says he wants her to understand how much it is a big deal and how he feels about their marriage. So moving on to Kristen and Mitch. Kristen FaceTimes Mitch at the conference, and Mitch says he looks forward to getting back and, being with Kristen and Luna. He does not miss Luna snoring. And Kristen says their marriage feels a lot lighter ever since they had Poolgate. And since the retreat, she just feels like they're in a lot lighter place. Hooray for you, Kristen. I still don't see it for you and Mitch, though. So moving on to Lindy and Miguel. Lindy and Miguel work out together, and Miguel says the honeymoon phase is definitely over for them now. Yes, Miguel, and I'm so glad it is, because y'all were just basking in the glow of the honeymoon, and y'all were not getting into reality. Y'all were like in the clouds somewhere, and y'all were not down to reality. Now reality has kicked you in the butt. So Lindy's insurance card comes in, and in the mail, and Miguel presents her with her insurance card, and Lindy is over the moon excited that she can go to the doctor now. Again, this is something I would have waited to after decision day to do. We are not about to have this whole put you on insurance, take you off, put you on, take you off. We're not doing all of that. I'm not doing all of that. Let's wait till after decision day. So nevertheless, Lindy got her insurance card. So Lindy about to go get her teeth done. She about to go get her physical. She about to get all type of blood work done. Lindy is about to run that insurance up, honey. I hope you got a good deductible. So, so Lindy says it makes her feel cared for that now she has insurance, and she is more she says to Miguel, I'm more comfortable to the possibility of hyphenating my name. So Miguel says, it's frustrating because now, you're doubting, like, because all before, she was mad at him for having those little doubts. But clearly, if you're more comfortable to hyphenate your name, you have doubts because you don't want to fully give up your last name. So Lindy says, the doubt comes from, how he's making her feel. So she's, putting the blame back on him. No, it isn't, Lindy, because when y'all were having this discussion, y'all were in the clouds, y'all were over the moon for each other. So this had nothing to do with you hyphenating your name. You did not want to hyphenate you didn't want to have his name way back when y'all talked about this insurance card situation. You still are in that same mind frame that you don't want to give up your last name. So you do have doubts as well. So you have to, realize that too, Lindy. So Lindy says that the name change for, she could be Elway forever in her mind. And that's her last name, Elway. And he was like, Miguel said, well, let's keep it that way then. I'm telling you. Y'all, I don't think Lindy and Miguel gonna make it. Miguel has had it up to here with Lindy. You hear what I'm saying? He has had it up to here. He has shown and proved he was beating Lindy. Every time he turned around, then he was making Lindy something to eat. And he, got her the insurance card. In his eyes, I think he said, I have bent over backwards for her, and she is still not even trying to do anything for me. This is a whole situation, y'all. This is a whole situation. And this is also a cautionary tale. Like, it's okay to, want to bend over backwards and, do stuff for your mate. But it's also, make sure you're getting some type of reciprocity. Make sure it's not all on your end. Because Lindy seemed like, Lindy was getting spoiled by Miguel at one point, and now Miguel has gotten tired and he's looking for the reciprocity, and now he's not getting it. So let's see. So now we're moving on to Alexis and Stasha. Alexis and Stasha were working out and looked like they were doing some type of stretching or yoga. I don't know quite what they were doing. So Alexis says, ask about, what about your living situation, with Nate? So Stasha says, after Nate's lease is up, he's going to move into the house. So she says they haven't quite compromised on the decor of the home. We all know that Nate's style is questionable. She wants him to feel comfortable in the home, even though there is technically her home. You see? Stasha said, she said, it's technically my home. So it's always in the back of the mind and Stasha's mind that that's her home. That's never going to be Nate's home. You just live with Stasha, Nate. It's always going to be like that. I'm telling you, Nate, have some type of plan in place where y'all can move in and get y'all own stuff, because it's always going to be Stasha's home. She feels, the hardware store may have scared Nate a little bit. I don't think so. I just think that he is just realizing that you are not going to, will never be his home, because you were shooting down all of his suggestions. This will never be his home. So Justin, and Nate are working out while Stasha and Alexis are working out. So Justin and Nate are working out, and Nate is lifting like 75-pound dumbbells. And, Justin said, well, I'm gonna stay over here with these 40s. I swear, Justin, oh Lord, I need you to do some push-ups. I need you to do something. Justin, come on now, come on. So Justin says, he asked Alexis about decision day and wanted her to affirm that she would say yes. And he says Alexis, was to deflect the question. And Justin says he felt that they were on the same page at, one point, but now he isn't sure anymore because she just would not affirm that she was going to say yes on decision day. And he goes on to say, he gave Maya away under the assumption that he was going to get a yes on decision day. Justin, if you did not want to give up Maya, you should have been honest and said you did not want to give up Maya. Now, if she would have said no because you didn't want to give up your dog, then so be it. That means she wasn't in it for you in the first place. She wasn't here for you in the first place, so it would have been okay. So now you've given up your dog and you're pressing her to make sure she says yes because now you feel bad because your dog is gone. That is not fair, Justin. You cannot do that. You can't do that. So over here, first of all, you text her this question, and now you want her to make sure she gives you a yes. And if she just say, yeah, I'll give you a yes, and then she turns around and say no, then what you gonna do, Justin? Just chill out. You should have thought this through. This is nobody's fault but your own. So Justin, where am I? So he says, he thought they were on the same page. So Alexis is telling Stasha as they're working out that, Justin sent a text message, just like I said. And he said that if he says yes, then he'll say, if she says yes, then he'll say yes. So his decision is predicated on Alexis. No, sir. No, sir. Your decision should be your decision and your decision alone. This is time for you to stand flat-footed and be a man, Justin. Be a man, stand in your decision, make your decision, regardless of what Alexis feels. It has nothing to do with Alexis. Do you see a future with Alexis? Do you or do you not? Regardless of what Alexis feels, you need to know what you feel. What do you feel, Justin? So, Justin says that Alexis, feels he wasn't on edge anymore. You remember last episode, she said, I feel like the energy has shifted since, we engaged in the relations of it all. And he said, no, my energy ain't changed. Yes, it did, Justin. Yes, it did. So, Nate says he feels Alexis is immature. In his confessional, Nate goes in on Alexis. He says Alexis is immature. She's a gossip girl, and she's a liar. And he basically she can't be trusted. And the fact that she can't be direct with Justin is just weird. I mean, say it with your chest, Nate. Let me start calling you Nate Dog. Because, good God, you went in on Alexis. Of course, I feel like it's warranted, but also, you really don't see it for Alexis. I don't think you really respect Justin either, honestly, but you really don't like Alexis. Justin doesn't feel Alexis is willing to make any compromises. And you're probably right, because she wouldn't have did the same thing for you with Newton. So I don't think she's willing to make any compromise. I don't see where she's going to compromise herself, and nor should you make any compromises. So Alexis says when she sees glimpses of the old Justin, she gets scared, and a bit part of her wants to say yes, but she wonders if she could tolerate him for years. Probably not, because you ain't even attracted to him. You're not even attracted to him. What do you like about Justin, Alexis? What do you really like about him? Because I don't know what it is that you really like about him. You don't like he's emotional. His thrust game is weak. He's weak. He can't make decisions. He's too emotional. What do you like about him? I don't know anymore. So Justin says he's going to make his decision based on facts. He feels like he's been played. I don't think he's been played. I think you played yourself. Honestly, I don't think Alexis played you. You played yourself. What y'all think? Comment down below. You think Justin got played or he played himself? I think he played himself. So Nate and Stasha go on a hike, and Stasha says she wants them to still make time for, for them. And so Nate, they still back on this baby situation. They probably should have gave McGindy to Nate and Stasha so they could see. So McGindy, not McGindy, Nate says, they will not have time for each other once the newborn comes. And in a way, he's correct. In a way, he's not. Maybe you all have help. You have Stasha's family. Maybe you have your family. Somebody can watch the baby and y'all can go on a date night. But truth be told, a baby is a commitment. When they, if they're breastfeeding, they're eating every 2 hours. Maybe if they're on a bottle, maybe 3. But they're eating all day. You are sleep deprived, and don't let them be colicky, because that's a whole different situation. You're not getting any rest. So yeah, it's going to be a situation. So Nate has this little picnic set up, and they make homemade guacamole, which is cute. Stasha says she still wants to have fun and have a family. And Nate doesn't feel like you can have fun and have a family, but you really can. Me and my son, we go on trips all the time. We have fun, but you can have trips for your family, and then you and Stasha need to make time to have trips. But as a couple, you can do what it is that you want to do in your marriage. You just have to make time for each other. But I feel like Stasha and Nate is at a time where he wants to grind. He's a day trader, and he has high hopes of getting to make $200,000. So in order for him to get to that point, he has to be grinding. And grinding with with a newborn child, is going to be difficult. I'm going to be quite honest. So Nate doesn't think fun and babies go hand in hand. It can be if you make it fun. If you make it fun, it may cause some stress in your marriage for a little bit, because you feel like I'm not getting none. I'm not able to put Stasha on the swing like I wanted to anymore. We can't use our little toys because we got little McGindy over here crying. And so, so it might get frustrated. If you're not in the mindset and you're not ready for it, then you should not engage in having a child. Stasha, go freeze your eggs, child. Go freeze your eggs and give y'all a little bit more time and space. So Nate, he's unsure if he would be ready to start a family in a year. Stasha says she's hopeful about the future. Nate says he feels vulnerable moving into her house. I feel like that's a great assessment, because you will be kind of walking on eggshells in Stasha's house, because Stasha is going to be like the police running behind you every second. So Nate tells her that, if they get into an argument and you want to kick him out, then he's homeless. So yeah, you're right, Nate. I mean, I totally agree with you. So Linda and Miguel are wearing their little bear costumes. I guess they're playing Dungeons and Dragons. So I don't know what the point of the costumes are, but they are in costume ready for Dungeons and Dragons. So Miguel teaches Lindy how to play, and it seems a little confusing to me, but nevertheless, it's a compromise. They're doing something that Miguel finds fun, so I think it's cute. So Mitch is back from his conference. Kristen, asked Mitch, how, when, and all types of stuff. And, Mitch is just talking about the conference, gushing about having all this type of fun. And I guess she notices he doesn't have his ring on. So she asked him about his ring. She was like, do you have your ring? He was like, oh, no. Oh, yeah, it's right here. So he puts it on. And I guess, Mitch wanted to, not wear his ring because he wanted to appear single, because he didn't want to ask the questions on, about his marriage, or, go into information about his wife. So Krista asked, are there pretty girls there? And he said, oh, yes, in the beach world, there's always pretty girls. I'm not a big proponent on people taking their rings off. I don't see what the point is in taking your ring off. The ring it signifies our commitment to each other. So why would you take it off? Now, I did take my ring off to go to bed at night, or if I'm washing my hands, because my hands would swell at night. So I would take my ring off, and then in the morning I would put it back on. I would feel naked without my ring. That's how much I wore it. So just being without the ring, I would feel weird. And I always like to wear my ring because I wanted people to know that I am married, I am taken. And my husband always wore his ring as well. He better have. So, they take Luna surfing. That was really cute. Kristen was very, she said, it brought tears to her eyes to see Luna and Mitch having fun together. So, yeah, that was really cute. So Lindy sits down with her friend Gabby and has, talks about her weekend and how horrible it went at the couples retreat. And Lindy says, she feels Miguel wants to control her from who she is, and she goes names out the things that she is. She's like, because I had my outbursts, and I cut him off, and she has, anxiety. Like, she's named all these things that are just so negative. And I was like, why would you claim those things for yourself, Lindy? Like, that is not you. You need to find out who you really are. And it doesn't sound like because if you think having outbursts and cutting people off and getting loud angry is a part of who you are, no, that is not. That is very low in my Stormy. As Coach Stormy would say, that's very low vibrational. It is very low vibrational. You know what? That's not who you are. You need to find out who you are at the core. You're a very good friend. Or I don't know, if you're cutting people off and ain't listening. I don't know if you are a good friend. But what are the good traits about you? I don't know do you know what's good about you, Lindy? You haven't said anything positive about yourself. And you just want Miguel to accept you for all of that. And he doesn't want to, have that type of personality in his life. And he's well within his rights not to. So Miguel feels like, Miguel says he hurt Lindy by voicing his uncertainty and feels like, it's just not working for him. Miguel, it sounds like it's a no for you. So Lindy says she is at her breaking point and she doesn't want to talk to him about it because he would probably leave her. And Gabby, tells her, as she's going through everything, Gabby is just like, she can't get a word in edgewise. So by the time she does get a word in, she tells her, to be herself. And if he leaves, it wasn't meant for her anyway. Boom. Thank you, Gabby. Be yourself. If this is who you are and this is who you want to be, then if he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it, and move on. You tried the best you can. You were being yourself. You put your best foot forward. Then that's it, Lindy. Stop worrying about him leaving you. You only known him for 8 weeks. So Lindy feels like Miguel just switched up on her, and he has. He has switched up because before he was at your beck and call. He was, doing everything that you want him to do. And now he's like, I'm tired. And now the true Miguel is coming out. And I do, in a way, feel like Miguel is wanting perfection from Lindy. And I saw that, during when the episodes first started, when they were doing like the dating package or when they were, talking about them, the matchmaking one. And he was talking, how, he was seemed very controlled and he likes perfection. So I feel like he wants perfection in Lindy and is coming across as controlling. And Lindy is like a person who Lindy is not, she's not going to react well to being controlled. So Sasha and Nate are discussing being parents and how it looks for them. Nate said is unsure if Sasha is ready. And I'm kind of on the same boat with you. Like Nate, I was a sniper for Nate when he first came out, but I tend to agree a lot with what Nate says. I think Nate is very mature in his thinking, and I feel like he has pretty, thoughts that, make a lot of sense. And I don't think Sasha's ready. That's why my advice is to freeze your eggs, girl. So Alexis and Justin have a double date with Kristen and Mitch. And so they play ping pong. And we have found something that Justin is good at, ping pong. Who would have thought? So Kristen tells Mitch, tells them that Mitch has been gone to a conference. And Mitch, got in a hot tub. And then Kristen asked, Mitch says he got into a hot tub and he started talking about being in a hot tub. And she was like, did you have your ring on? So, she always likes to, bring make Mitch uncomfortable. So Mitch says he didn't want to explain to everyone, how and when he got married. He just didn't want to go down that road. Justin tells them that, his friend came and got Maya. So Alexis tells them that she's 90%, saying yes in her, in her decision to, get married, stay married. And so Kristen, Mitch, this is Mitch this time. Mitch says, are you okay, with being 90% sure? And Alexa says she was. Justin says, no, I'm not good with 90%. And Kristen says she wouldn't be good with 90% either. Either you're all in or you all out. So it seemed like Mitch and Alexis kind of aligned because Mitch says he has some uncertainty as well. And Justin and Kristen kind of aligned because Justin was, saying, I want all or nothing. And so Kristen seemed like she was all on the same pages. So, Alexis asked if he wants her to be 100% because he gave his dog away or because, is what she wants. And Justin says he just needs the affirmation. So he just wants her to say, you gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. He is like laser focused on getting this yes. And Justin, I feel like you just need to drop it and let the chips fall where they may. If she says no, just like Lindy's friend said, it wasn't meant for you. Go get your dog back. That's if Chris want to give the dog back. I don't know. He might be like, no, I want Maya to stay here with me. So I don't know what it's gonna be, but more than likely Chris will probably give you the dog back because he knows how much you feel about Maya. So Justin feels like at this point, Alexis should know what she's gonna do. Kristen feels like this decision that should be based on their marriage, and if they are the best versions of themselves when they are with each other. My girl, always got a good point. Yes, Kristen. How are you? Are you your best version with this person? And that should be it. So Kristen says she needs a declaration from Mitch only because she doesn't feel it in her heart from him. Like, it's hard to read Mitch. So that's why she needs the public declarations from him. She needs to hear it verbally from Mitch. So yeah, both y'all should say no. Both of these couples need to say no, in my opinion. Lindy tells Miguel that she, vented to her friend. So Miguel says he doesn't want to be made a villain, be made a villain and look bad. So it sounds like Miguel sounds just like Morgan. He doesn't want her talking about him to other people and talking about their situation. Why, Miguel? Why? I mean, maybe you and I said it from the beginning. I thought Miguel and Morgan would have made a good couple, but I don't know. Maybe y'all would have made a good couple because y'all clearly feel the same way about talking to friends about maybe something that you're going through. Miguel says he can't be in a two-faced relationship and where he gets trash talked. So that's where it kind of ended. Lindy and Miguel again are fighting. So that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen, everybody. That's where we are. Lindy Miguel still fighting. So that's the episode. What would you rate this episode? I would probably give it a good 7. Like I said, these couples I don't see nothing for none of these couples. I just feel like, just go back to the drawing board. We may even need some new experts. I don't know, but we need to make some changes. These couples are not, they all should say no, in my opinion. In my opinion, they should all say no. I don't know anybody who should say yes. Maybe Nate and Sasha, I would give it to them, maybe. But I feel like unless they get on the same page about having children, it's going to be a no. What do y'all think? Comment down below. So those are my opinions. And again, I thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video, share this content with another Married at First Sight fan. And I would like to get some dialogue from you. So again, thank you all for watching. It's your girl, Absolutely April. Peace.